Okay, so here we're going to be looking at a particle motion problem. This is going to sound a lot like physics, but you need to know three letters, P, V, and A. As you move down, you're going to take the derivative, okay? So the derivative, so P stands for position, okay? And then the derivative of position is velocity. The derivative of velocity is acceleration. Wait. Okay, so here they're just telling us that time can never be negative, so don't freak out about that. Here they want us to give us find velocity and acceleration. So the derivative of position, so the function they gave us, is velocity. So that will be 6t squared minus 28t plus 22. And then to find acceleration, take the derivative of velocity. So that would be 12t minus 28. Now we need to describe the motion of the particle. So velocity is going to help us to determine if the if the particle is moving to the left or to the right. So just like we've done in the other examples, you're going to take the derivative. So we're taking velocity and we're going to set it equal to 0 and solve for t. I'm going to take out a 2 to make life a little easier. So that will become 3t squared minus 14t plus 11 equals 0. At this point, we will need to factor out. If you're not good at factoring a quadratic, get really good at factoring using the quadratic formula. So I can break up 3t as t and t. They both get a minus sign. And this will become 11 and 1. If you do need help with factoring, please come see me, and I'll help you. So now set each factor equal to 0. Add 11 to both sides. So we get 3t equals 11. Divide each side by 3. So t equals 11 thirds. And then over here, t equals 1. So now what we got to do is we got to make a number line. Okay. So again, please make sure the numbers are in order. 11 thirds. We also need to put a little end cap here because remember they told us at the top that time cannot be negative. So we need to just remind ourselves that we can't go past 0. Now we want to pick some values to test around each of these numbers. So again, I'm going to choose 0.5, 2, and 10. Okay. I'm going to plug these values in right up here. Underline that. In the factored. It's going to be a lot easier, again, because you won't have a calculator majority of the time for these. Okay. Remember, I don't care about numbers. I just care about the signs. So if I plug 0.5 into here, half of 3 is 1.5. Minus 11 is going to give me some negative value. If I plug in 0.5 into the second parentheses, 0.5 minus 1 is also negative. See how these two parentheses are like this? Remember that means multiplication. So here we're just going to say a negative times a negative is a positive. Repeat that with 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 11 is some negative number. And then 2 minus 1 is positive, and a negative positive give us a negative. And now plug 10 in. 10 times 3 is 30, minus 11 is some positive number. 10 minus 1 is 9, some positive, and we both get positives there. So, which way am I moving? So when is the particle moving to the right? And that's going to be whenever we have positive answers. So we're moving to the right from 0 to 1 and from 11 thirds to infinity. Okay, and we're moving left when we have a negative answer, so we're moving left right here. So we're moving left from 1 to 11 thirds. Okay, Now we can also tell some other stuff about our particle, and we can tell when the particle is speeding up or slowing down. So remember we took the derivative of velocity and got acceleration. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set our derivative, or the acceleration, equal to 0 and solve. So we're going to add 28 to both sides. So I get 12t equals 28. Divide by 12, and I get t equals 28 over 12. Remember, you do not have to reduce your fraction. I need to see the equation. You don't have to reduce your fraction. You just leave it alone. Okay. Okay, we got to make a number line. So 28 over 12. And again, we need to cap this off here at 0. So I'm going to check out 1, and I'm going to use 10 as well. So if I plug 1 into here, 12 times 1 is 12 minus 28 is some negative value. Plug 10 in, I get 120 minus 28, some positive value. Okay, so now when is my particle slowing down? And it's slowing down from 0 to 28 over 12. And it's speeding up from 28 over 12 to infinity. And you are done.